Hello, and welcome once again to Dr. No's rebroadcast of the LJL. We're in day 2 of week 2. Up first, we do have Detonation Focus Me versus AXZ. We're going to go ahead and just dive right into it. Now, as you guys will remember, Detonation Focus Me did go 2-0 in their opening week. More than likely, the favorites coming into this match as Detonation Focus Me. You might, again, recognize from Worlds last year, one of the better teams to come out from the LJL. AXZ Gaming didn't have as good of a start to their first week, going 0-2 in the week prior, but looking to kind of turn that around here and possibly looking to find themselves a first win here. It would be somewhat of an upset and a good win to have under their belt to knock down Detonation Focus Me. Although, in both games from last week, Detonation Focus Me did look fairly strong, so we will have to see where this one leads us. We'll go ahead and just skip ahead here to the beginning of pick and bans. And just as a reminder, as always, we do have Evi in the top lane, Steel in the jungle, Saros in mid lane, Utapon in ADC, and Gang in the support position versus AXZ, who we do have Unyan in the top lane, Hoglet in the jungle, Garairu in mid lane, Hyde on the ADC, and Corporal as his support. You can already see Detonation Focus Me sticking with some traditional bans. AXZ taking the Heimerdinger away from Detonation Focus Me, specifically from Saros. Saros does have a bit of a knack, is sort of a pocket pick of his, so a little bit of respect shown to Saros there. But other than that, does look like we're going to see fairly traditional bans. Jarvan has actually a decent amount of popularity in the LJL. Isn't as popular in a lot of other regions, but we have seen in the past how lethal a lot of teams can make use of the Cataclysm with that Jarvan hurt. You put it's the old dunk master of old. You put in the rim, and everybody will just start piling on there. We've seen great combos with it in the past, and we do see now Evi going to go and lock himself in set, and AXZ Gaming going to lock themselves in the Mordekaiser and Aphelios in response. Very quick, decisive picks. Mordekaiser, often one of the bruiser picks that will try and will have an okay lane into set, as well as the Aphelios picked up by AXZ. They do fairly standard things from the trade of the draft so far, and Steel going to go ahead and lock himself in the Gragas. So that will be their jungle, and the Misfortune will be picked up as well. Don't want that getting pinched off in the second round of draft, so fairly standard so far. Now AXZ Gaming has to kind of put themselves in the position. They can opt for the LeBlanc if they want to take that mid lane position. We've actually seen a lot of LeBlancs banned in the second round. And we have seen that the LJL do very much enjoy their LeBlanc, but he actually switches over to the Thresh here. An interesting first pick. We have seen some popularity with Nautilus as well, but that does mean for the side of AXZ Gaming, they can throw a decent amount of bans at that support position. The Blitzcrank ban already coming out. They also have, they can ban out the Nautilus, they can ban out the Leona if they so choose. Although Detonation Focus Me now can look towards that jungle pool if they would like to. No, try to cut Hoglet off from a lot of the champions he enjoys. But you will see the LeBlanc ban first. Knowing AXZ Gaming will get the first pick in that second round, so they can likely lock the LeBlanc there. Go ahead and just ban that away this round. And we do see the Leona ban coming out. Now this will most likely leave the Nautilus open for Detonation Focus Me. The question will be, what does AXZ take for their mid lane position? They'll most likely will be locking the jungle in the first round. Will be offering Garairu the counter pick. And the Rek'Sai ban coming out from Detonation Focus Me. We did see yesterday in the first few games, we did see actually very good showing from the Rek'Sai. A lot of aggressive jungling, but we actually see the Karthus coming out from AXZ Gaming. Karthus has a decent clear speed. Has picked up a lot of popularity in I know in Korean solo queue. Karthus has a lot of popularity. Just easy to power farm with. You have that global pressure with the ultimate available, and with the Dark Harvest scaling, just as long as you're reaching your items, you're reaching your damage, those slivers of HP that they could be walking away with can get cashed into kills, and the Karthus can just snowball from there. Now we do see Nautilus locked in from the side of Detonation Focus Me as expected, but the Ziggs possibly coming out from Seros in the mid lane. The Karma, also a pick we've seen before in the LJL. Looks like they will be locking that in for Seros in the mid lane. Now AXZ has to decide. The Karthus still has possible. Ooh, the Tristana mid for the side of AXZ Gaming. I like the idea behind this pick. You do have the all-in potential, but it does look like the Karma might actually be going to the support position, and they could be then they're flexing the Nautilus to the mid lane. But they're swapping it back, trying to play a little bit of fun, but an understandable pick from Garairu in the mid lane. Karma, known for being a very safe laner, has that decent poke with the Qs and mantra Qs, but you do have that all in. Just get right on top of them and start belting out that damage as Tristana. And the extra 80 carry in tow never hurts. Plus, when you do have the Karthus jungle, you don't have to worry about any lack of AP damage, anybody getting away with building full armor and outvaluing the team. But as we load onto the rift here, the mid 2v2s from both from the side of AXZ Gaming does look a little bit strong. You do have a lot of damage. Can get, if any of them are blown up by the Gragas with that high burst potential, can be dangerous for both Hoglet and Garairu without too many tanks on their team. One thing, though, is that AXZ Gaming does not have a lot of engage on their side. Doesn't have many tools to work with as far as starting off the fights. Detonation Focus Me does have the Gragas and the Nautilus to try and, pull the fights in their position, along with the Mantra E's from the Karma to just speed up the comp, get everybody moving forward. AXZ Gaming will have to play this one out very carefully. We'll be loading up in just a moment. Now, one thing I would like to talk about is that while for the side of AXZ Gaming, you do have this kind of like high damage. For the side of Detonation Focus Me, if any of those Nautilus hooks land, if any of the Gragas combos find their mark, it could be curtains very quickly for a number of members on the side of AXZ Gaming. It looks like fairly traditional starts. Unyan gonna be getting a little bit of trade going on with Evi. Evi happy to run at him with the early 1-2 combos from the set. We'll actually get his Conqueror off and chunk Unyan out quite a bit, but other than that, junglers will be starting on the opposite end of the map. Bot lane leash from the Gragas will give him the opportunity to kind of full clear and put pressure on that top lane if he so chooses. Now Karthus will traditionally opt for the full clear. You can see the ward on blue buff. Hoglet wanting to make sure that nobody's going to be trying to cut his camps. He wants to make sure he has time to respond and go to Detonation Focus Me's blue side and opt for a vertical clear. If Steel decides he wants to move into their side at all. And in this beginning of this game, you were seeing Evi just brutalizing Unyan a bit. Both of them still level 1, as neither of them are opting for as much CS. Unyan completely zoned off of the wave at this point. The early power of this set, Evi is more than willing to try and flex a bit of that fight. Taking the early E as well means that Unyan does have to worry about trying to walk up. He's actually going to sacrifice the entire first few waves until it gets under turret, and he's able to farm that one out safely. And as we say that, speaking of safety, Garairu abandoning all safety to all in on that mid lane, all in for Seros here. Gets a good trade off and doesn't lose too terribly much for it. Does have the ignite for the little extra kill pressure. And as Karthus completes his first clear, he will be opting for the Scuttle Crab. And Detonation Focus Me, putting up some pings, possibly could be looking for a dive, but the ward will spot that out. And Unyan is going to back all the way off, and that is going to be a large minion wave lost to turret. If Unyan is not able to get to it, Evi is back there hunting him, trying to see where Unyan could be hiding. Now does have access to the minion wave, so Evi doesn't have too much pressure anymore, but they re-ping it. It looks like they want to go for the dive here. Evi might take a turret shot here. Yep. Now Unyan has a decent amount of HP. This dive will be kind of tricky to get off. No ignite on either of them. The stun does come through from Evi. He's going to opt for tanking first, and a beautiful dive actually. Flash W just to get the shield to make sure he survives the combo. Evi knows he has the strength and the health to get that dive off. A very early first blood from the side of Detonation Focus Me. Beautifully set up by Evi. No flash committed from Unyan. Knows there's not much getting out of that one once you're stunned up and there's a Gragas in your face waiting to combo. And unfortunate for him, Hoglet on the Karthus is not exactly the most proactive jungler to help you get that back. But watch this one more time. The stun comes through. The 1-2 from Set into the combo from Steel. Evi might have been able to kite that one out, but flashing for safety, it's obviously the better play there. Don't want to turn that into a 1-for-1. Although Hoglet now looking around, trying to give his laner some pressure. Back on this top side, gives him a little bit of farm back into the game, but Evi does have, of course, have a large wave to pick up. Looks like Hoglet might be going for a lane gank here. Will spot it out. Evi does have W available to him to try and negate some of the damage, but we'll just walk out of that one safely. Takes a pretty big chunk, but other than that, nothing too extreme. Hoglet gonna go ahead and get his back off as well to reset towards his blue side. While Steel and Gang work away at this vision on the bottom side of the map, trying to get any security around for that dragon. We kind of return to neutral here. You can actually see that in this bot lane, Hyde has a decent CS lead for this early on period, but Seros is kind of matching his lead for a lead of his own onto Garairu. It's overall going to be a Detonation Focus Me gold favor, but with Hoglet still trying to reach 6, that global pressure coming out onto the map will kind of affect what fights they're able to go for and take.
そうですね、ここでフルクリアを行うことができればレベル6、トリスタンドのバーストと含めてキルを狙える圏内というのをいち早く狙えるルート取れてると思いますね。
You can see here Evi in complete control of this lane at the moment. As Steel wanders back up here, possibly looking for another dive attempt, but with him showing on that side of the map, AXZ are going to leverage that CS lead in the bot lane, try and just steal away a Mountain Drake real quick. Union, of course, not as happy about that exchange, struggling here to still hit level 6, but not much you can do at the moment. We'll be able to steal away one of the small Krugs, but all of those minions being burned down to tower is just gold and experience lost from Union. He's just not, he can't walk up. He knows that the jungler's there. He knows that Evi and Steel have demonstrated that they're capable of the dive once already. This is only going to get worse for Union in this top side. Oglet now showing up, trying to see what he can offer. And Evi is already going in. He's level 7. He's going to ult them in onto Hoglet. Gonna get slid back from the W, but Hoglet's going to go in and unfortunately fall here. Not going to be able to get steal as well. Union walking away with a sliver of HP. And not so much as a Dark Harvest proc from Hoglet. This is not looking so good for the side of AXZ Gaming's top lane. Now Union finally back, able to grab up some of these minions. You can already see the CS lead and the kill difference is just showing itself quite extraneously on this top side. You see here, Evi immediately ults him in onto Hoglet. The E pulls him back, but not so far that the W is going to miss. Does burn Steel's flash by flashing forward to try and put pressure on him. Knows he has the passive afterwards to try and tag out some extra damage. Although Hoglet now hitting that level 6 does mean that that detonation focus me has to respect the level 6, respect the ulti from the Karthus. As the Karthus continues to full clear, that is the downside of Karthus, is that his early game is not the strongest. He does have to worry about invades, but he also just has to worry about keeping up with the enemy jungle. He's doing a good job so far. He does have a little bit of a CS lead, but when it comes to your top lane being pressured this much, there isn't a whole lot that the Karthus is able to offer. A little bit of a trade coming out from Union onto Evi, actually getting the better of this one with that extra Karthus healing, but Steel grabbing the Rift Herald could mean that more turret plates will be falling in that top side. Evi still with a 2-level lead over Union in the top lane. You can see here a little bit of a similar story from Utapon in the bot lane, as they're kind of backing up to farm out the Krugs. With Steel having such dominant control over this top side, not a terrible play for them to kind of split the gold, and that is going to be an early first turret for Detonation Focus Me. That is a 10-minute first turret going on to the set. A champion already hard to kill just gets a little bit harder, as now he's going to be reaching his items well before anyone else in this game, and the second charge will be coming through as well. Now Hoglet looking towards this mid lane, wants to see if they can find their first blood onto Karma in the mid lane. Now you do have the speed boost, but no dashes or anything to try and dodge out on those Karthus Qs. And you can see here almost 2,000 gold, almost doubling Union's gold in the top lane, about 1,500 gold ahead of everyone else. Evi is well and fed on the top side. And an engage coming out from Gang. The ulti committed from Hyde is going to be able to repel them, but the teleport coming in right behind. Saros is now here to party, and that is going to be Corporal flashing away from the cask, as he is going to be able to make it out alive. Nothing too heavily committed. You do have the Moonlight Vigil on cooldown from Hyde, but Saros Seros with the teleport does kind of keep AXZ from wanting to commit anything more than they know they have to there. Nothing too extreme from either side. A little bit of cooldowns burned. The flash on the thresh does mean that he is susceptible to target, but other than that, with a teleport down from Seros, it looks like Garairu's taking his time to go aggressive, and he will get a lot of damage on, but the ult is not going to be able to burn... Oh, it is going to be able to burn Seros down. The re-engage from Gang onto Garairu is going to make him fall for it, and Corporal finds a hook onto Gang, trying to see if he can pull him across. The Lantern comes a little bit late, not able to find all the damage that they need on a Gang to knock him down. And that is a little bit of a... You do see an example of the lethal potential from AXZ Gaming. The all-in from Tristana combined with the Karthus ult just to put that little bit of extra damage on top. It is actually a decent amount of kill pressure. Now they will find themselves the second Drake of this game. And although in the top lane, Unyan going to be struggling a bit. Possibly a sign of life from the bottom half of the map of AXZ Gaming. So you actually see here, Garairu goes all the way in. He knows he can hard commit because he does have the ulti to just pick up that damage. A lot of damage from that Karthus ulti. You do have the Luden's proc from the Runic Echoes as well, but a good awareness from Gang and Steel to know that the all-in is coming, know that they're looking for something with that Karthus cooldown. Gang and Steel able to commit to that and punish the all-in from Garairu, but a 1-for-1 in the end. And Unyan still trying to pick up what CS he can, find any gold, any experience. There's a little bit of love going towards the top lane as he tries to find himself any amount of gold to keep himself alive up in that top side. A full item already completed on Evi. He has a Trinity Force. At just 13 minutes into this game, alongside his tier 2 boost, he is going to be a tough character to scrap with. Now Hyde, possibly looking to try and bait, wants to walk up, making them seem like a lonely ADC. Corporal will show with the hook, but not going to be able to land anything just yet. And we're sort of returning to this neutral state now. The nice thing for AXZ Gaming is that with the Ocean Soul available to them now, a little bit of a trade going on to Hyde here. He will commit the Moonlight Vigil, but not going to be able to get a whole lot off of it. Corporal standing behind him with the Lantern, waiting for whenever Hyde decides he's done messing around. A little bit of a half-health chunk onto both sides, but Hyde not afraid of that one. Ooh, a good flash from Hyde. Gets away from the dredge line just in time. And it's going to actually be a great play for the side of AXZ. A one flash gone wrong there. And ooh, a good hook onto Steel. Going to find a lot of damage on it. Not the Karthus. The Karthus ulti isn't available just yet, so he doesn't have the ability to kill before Steel is able to heal up slightly. He will return to his blue buff. As now his ulti comes off cooldown. Not going to opt into it. Knows that by now Steel could have smited the camp or could have even just backed as he did. And Evi reminding Unyan who owns the top lane. He will commit to the death realm just to get those extra stats and try to play it out in there. But Unyan is not going to be able to get away from Evi. He sticks to his guns. Tries to fight it out. He does opt for the Merc Treads early to try and reduce the stun from the E, but without any of that armor, Evi is happy to just hit him with that 1-2 combo over and over again. So now he is working away at that tier 1 in the top side. And now we do kind of find an interesting position of if AXZ Gaming continues to secure too many of these Drakes, Ocean Soul will give them a lot of potential. Ocean Soul, one of the stronger souls, will offer a win con to the side of AXZ Gaming. Detonation Focus Me still has yet to kind of move Evi towards that bot side. You don't see him swapping to try and get pressure onto that bot side. As the Rift Herald is picked up by Steel in the top lane. They look to possibly put it onto this mid lane, but you can see Garairu and Hoglet already answering towards that mid lane just in case. And now Hoglet resetting his clear here. Going on to the Gromp, and he does. They do have the vision control over this dragon area, and with 30 seconds left, or 35 seconds on that Ocean Drake, you can see Detonation Focus Me now recognizing that this is the time they need to try and get in there, try and get that vision control, because if once they give up this one, they will have to worry about the soul threat coming out from AXZ Gaming. And with Union in that mid lane, just to keep bouncing the waves alongside Seros, does look like good. AXZ Gaming are kind of zoned off at the moment. Predator is being activated from Steel, but nothing just yet. AXZ Gaming works their way around here. They don't have a whole lot of vision left, so they will not actually see if Detonation Focus Me decides to start it. With a hook narrowly missing there, you can see AXZ Gaming are in interesting positions, but Hyde now going to answer the bot lane means that Detonation Focus Me are going to look towards this mid lane, putting down that Rift Herald to try and get a distraction up for them to take the Ocean Drake. And now AXZ Gaming are responding by rotating to this mid lane, but it looks like Detonation Focus Me could be possibly looking for a fight here. Corporal throws out the hook, not going to find anything just yet. The Mantra Q coming out from Seros just to kind of get a little poke, slow them down as they rotate their way back to the Ocean Drake here. They will be starting it up. Garairu now going towards the red buff. Doesn't look like Detonation Focus Me will dealing with a whole lot of contention for this Drake as they secure that for themselves. And this is where the issue is somewhat pressing for AXZ Gaming, is that lack of engage. Corporal can throw all the hooks that he wants, but as long as Detonation Focus Me is not getting hit by any unnecessary hooks, they don't have the engage tools to properly take fights. And even with Gang missing his hooks and Steel activating Predator preemptively, they still have more threat of starting a fight with hard engage than AXZ Gaming currently does. So for the side of AXZ Gaming, they will have to figure out how they're going to start initiating these fights, how they're going to start pulling Detonation Focus Me into the team fights that they want. They would have the opportunity to play around objectives and use that, but with the Rift Herald disadvantage for them, they did have to answer one at a time. They ended up losing both the mid lane turret and the Drake. It's not a great showing from AXZ Gaming as Union tries to just farm up some more minions in this bottom side. You can see just across the board first items coming through on most members, but Union is still just a considerable gold amount behind. It's going to be very hard for him to bounce back into this game and have the amounts of HP that he needs to be one of the tankier members. In this comp, AXZ Gaming has to rely on the Mordekaiser being one of the beefier members, one of the frontline members of AXZ Gaming's comp. But with him so far behind, he's not able to stand up and go toe-to-toe with even the Gragas at this point, and Corporal on the Thresh is actually going to be more tanky than Union in this lane. And so a lot of squishy members on AXZ Gaming does mean that they have to be very careful about where they step. One Gragas combo later, a couple MF love taps, and that could be curtains for most members of AXZ Gaming at this point. And now we see, returning to neutral as Detonation Focus Me walks towards this Baron to try and secure some of the vision back from AXZ Gaming. Corporal looking around here, seeing if there's anything he can find. They do have more members on that side of the map, but they have not seen Eva yet on this bottom side. AXZ Gaming will secure the scuttle just to have that permanent vision around that Baron. Bit of an interesting W from the Karthus. Not sure what he was trying to reach there with the wall, but Evi now looking towards this bottom lane turret. It's going to grab another turret for himself. That is 3 turret now for Evi that he has been able to pick up. Well, 2.5. He did share the gold from the mid lane turret, so... But 2 solo turrets under his belt, that's gotta be feeling good if you are Evi in this game. Hoglet walking back, seeing what vision he can just wipe away the zombie wards, just trying to puncture a few of them out. Another Ocean Drake coming up in 1 minute. Now, AXZ Gaming does have the opportunity here to try and use the objectives to bait Detonation Focus Me into a fight, to force them to walk into areas where they don't want to, and have this kind of all-in potential. You can send the Karthus far forward alongside the Tristana. If the Karthus goes down, not the end of the world. You do have that extra time after the Karthus is dead to sling out some abilities, get that ult down, and, chunk out more members of Detonation Focus Me. Ooh, and Hoglet might be biting off a bit more than he can chew. A large amount of damage from the combo. The cask flies in. Hoglet not flashing far enough, as the explosive cask will finish off Hoglet. And that is what we were talking about earlier, where the lack of tankiness from the side of AXZ Gaming means that Steel on the Gragas is just going to have enough damage to one combo Hoglet on the Karthus, and with the Predator to have that extra mobility to make sure he can catch people out, AXZ Gaming will have to be very careful about how much they try to contest and when they're taking their time to clear vision. Does look like Yutapon will be walking down for this Ocean Drake. Gonna go ahead and start that up, grab a second Ocean Drake for themselves. And although they will still be 2 Drakes away from Soul after this, the double Ocean does feel pretty good when it does come to them just having that extra sustain in lanes, being able to kind of exhibit more pressure. Don't have to worry about Karthus Qs landing or any of the extra turret damage or flamethrower damage from the Aphelios. As well as the Set, who already has a passive of regaining a lot of HP. 2 Ocean Souls under his belt will mean he can turn into just a consistent onslaught of just constantly staying in waves, being able to take more aggressive trades, and just keep himself on the map constantly. You do see the Sterix. You don't see a TM on Evi in the top lane, so doesn't have the most pushing power just yet. But you can see how much CS just this Set has been able to pick up on the border of Flame Horizoning Unyan in this top lane. And you can actually see Karthus, who had spent so much time power farming this game, is also falling behind Steel. And at this point, AXZ Gaming is going to need to find their answers and find them quickly if they want to, or fear getting outscaled, as now the gold lead is cresting towards 7,000 for the benefit of Detonation Focus Me. A 450 gold shutdown on Yutapon without a kill under his name speaks to the volumes of just how much gold is going over to Detonation Focus Me in just the CS leads they have all across the map, and the turret and objective leads that they have. While they are even in Dragons, it does not feel like AXZ Gaming is getting the better of this one all the way. Getting pulled around a little bit from the hook-on-hook interactions, but will be able to find his way out. AXZ Gaming needs to be careful. Ooh, and the dredge line narrowly missing Garairu as he tries to buffer the rocket jump away. And now AXZ Gaming has to kind of find out what they want to do. They need to walk forward. They know they need to check on this Baron. but they can't walk up. They know that one gang engage is just all that they need. Steel can activate Predator here. The Mantra E coming forward as now they run down the members of AXZ Gaming, looking for an engage. They will find Garairu before he's able to W over the wall. He will get the flash to make sure he's okay. But that will mean Detonation Focus Me can walk right back to the Baron. They can work on just burning that back down if they want to. Nope, Drake up just yet, so they don't need to worry about any vision on that bottom side. Now AXZ Gaming looking for the mid lane, but Evi on the flank will be able to flash in with the E. He's going to ult hide right out of the fight and out of the way. Garairu is going to go down without a flash to save him. Hoglet's going to go down next. The ultimate is going to come out, but that is going to be a lot of members of AXZ Gaming going very, very low. Corporal, the last remaining member, running away from Ceros, and that is going to be a 4-for-1 on the side of Detonation Focus Me. Gang sacrificing his life to make sure that team fight goes according to plan. AXZ Gaming now has to just walk into this Baron. They have the Baron controlled. 1:30 until Ocean Drake to put them one step closer to that soul. This is Detonation Focus Me's game to lose. And what an aggressive showing from Evi, playing in the gaps of the vision, as we saw. So we'll watch it one more time. Evi waits for the carries to just walk a little bit too far forward. Garairu and Hyde separated. Garairu's rocket jump gets canceled again, and as he goes to take the lantern, Evi ults Hyde. Just amazing play from them, and Garairu is the first to be targeted. Then the Karthus goes down next. Now he will have the ultimate to try and deal out the extra bit of damage, but with the members of Detonation Focus Me not falling low enough, AXZ Gaming is just forced to full retreat. They don't have the damage to, they don't have the time alive to deal out the damage that they need to. And you do see another issue with the AXZ comp is that Unyan in this top lane does not have the ability to use his ultimate effectively. He can't pull one person out of the fight and risk his team getting run over so quickly. And now with this Baron, you can see Detonation Focus Me poising in multiple lanes, trying to just push, poke, and prod at all of the turrets of AXZ Gaming. They do have Ocean Drake coming up now, but they know that they can pressure the turrets now and fall back to that when they feel like they can't bite off anymore. You can see Evi 10 CS away from a Flame Horizon onto Unyan. Will we see it this game is the real question. It's going to be Detonation Focus Me rotating now up towards this top side to grab another turret, as Evi has already grabbed the tier 1 in the bottom lane. Will be ulted by Unyan as AXZ is going all in on Evi in this bottom side. Evi trying to just scrap it out with Unyan in the meantime is going to try and run away. He ults back in trying to take Unyan with him as he's just beating down multiple members, but there's just too much people able to pull Evi back and forth. They will be able to drop him, but they are losing multiple turrets, and the ultimatum from Karthus is going to be able to knock them down, but they lose an inhib for it in the top side. 2 kills found for AXZ Gaming, but what are they losing in return? They've already lost now 4 turrets and an inhibitor for those 2 kills. Can they afford to keep taking these trades? As Hoglet now looking to try and sneak away an Ocean Drake, along with the rest of AXZ Gaming coming in tow, seeing if they can just sneak out this Ocean Soul win con. They know their opportunity lies within this Ocean Soul, and putting themselves one step closer is not a terrible play for AXZ Gaming. You do see what we talked about earlier as the benefit of having the Karthus in the jungle. The Requiem coming out to just finish off Steel in the jungle, as he's just trying to survive, trying to use that Gragas passive and the reduced damage from his W to see if he can tank it through, but Hoglet with 2 pen items already and working towards Rabadons. If he buys enough time and is able to get to the point where he has enough gold and items to start belting out a considerable amount of damage, can be scary for the side of Detonation Focus Me, but How much time does AXZ Gaming currently still have as we crest to almost a 10k gold lead from the side of Detonation Focus Me? And with the Mantra E coming in, Detonation Focus Me storms forward. Now the Wall of Pain does kind of reduce a lot of the incoming speed, acts as a sort of cancel for the speed buff from Seros in the mid lane. And now this is even harder for AXZ Gaming, where you do have to dedicate Garaidu to lane clearing in that top side. So that you have Aphelios and you have Unyan in that bottom side to match Evi. Evi level 17 in this game. And now the hard part for AXZ Gaming is that the Baron will be up before the Baron will be up before the next Drake, before their next opportunity to go for an Ocean Soul play. Means that Detonation Focus Me will not only be able to grab this Baron fairly uncontested, but they will have that leverage to see if they can pressure out anything and possibly even pressure out the game. If not, secure the area so that they can take the Cloud, so they can take the Ocean Drake without any contention. Now, the nice thing is that you do see item completions coming through for these carries on the side of AXZ Gaming. Will mean that they are just going to be able to keep upping their damage. But you have to wonder how far behind are they, that will all the damage that they have add up for enough to take down the likes of Evi, to take down even Gang on the support through the stone plate. And you can see here the vision control from Detonation Focus Me, as they have a full dominating position over the map, and now they have freedom to walk back towards this Baron as they please. It looks like Detonation Focus Me is already starting it up. Steel and Utapon just working away at it, leaving the rest of the lanes to pressure. The top lane will be auto-pushing, so don't need to even worry about that. You have Evi in the bot side, Seros just to shove those lanes in mid. Will mean this this Baron is pretty free for the side of Detonation Focus Me. They'll take a reset off of it and see what they can do about pulling this game to a close. The Detonation Focus Me is taking things slow. They don't want to overcommit. They know they're giving a decent amount of respect to the damage from AXZ Gaming. But with the second Baron being even more deadly than the last, Detonation Focus Me has a lot of time to see what they can do about knocking down these few inhibitors and pressuring into that base. I am somewhat hoping that Evi is able to get the Flame Horizon onto Unyan here. And it looks like they will be pressuring towards this bottom side. 5v4 as Evi is in the mid lane escorting the next wave in. And minions also pressing onto the inhibitor in that top side. Detonation Focus Me doesn't need to send anyone over just yet, as AXZ Gaming looks to just clear these waves out as effectively as possible. And the Mantra E coming forward, Steel going to look for something. Does have to kind of bait out a bit, but they're letting Evi use his pressure on that top side. Will be able to knock down an inhibitor. AXZ Gaming's going to need to look for something. Corporal's hooks not quite landing. Detonation Focus Me able to give it all their respect and back completely away as they know that they have all of the pressure in this game at the moment. Hook does land onto Steel, but the huge shield, and that is going to be the bullet time burning down Hyde as Union is way deep into the Death Realm onto Saros. Will he even be able to finish him off? No! He is going to go down, and that is going to be Evi ulting in with the Haymaker. He's going to get pulled into the fountain, but flashes away just in time. The Requiem not going to be able to find any more kills as Corporal, the last remaining member, once again is not going to be able to survive much longer as he can only sit in his fountain and watch as Detonation Focus Me puts the nail in the coffin for game 5. It did feel like Detonation Focus Me had the most control in that game. They were able to play effectively. They had the engage tools, so they knew that AXZ Gaming were just not able to contest them when they were grouped. And once Evi had that pressure on the top side, you could see how effective he was able to snowball it, and how he was able to just keep Union completely out of this game, especially when he is one of the only tanky members of AXZ in this game.